My name is Russ Quaglia. I am the Executive Director of the Quaglia Institute for Student Aspirations. And my passion is about student voice, because I believe with every ounce of my being that students have something to teach us. One of the mantras of our institute here is that not only does every student have something to teach us, but that students are the potential, they're not the problem. Interestingly to me, student voice means something different to everyone. Some people think student voice means kids filling out a survey. Other people think it's about a focus group. Other people think it's putting a student on a leadership team, and that'll all be fine and dandy. And those are all good things, but for me, student voice is far more complex than that. Student voice is about students not only having a voice, but making sure that somebody is willing to listen, willing to learn, and then willing to lead. The other component I find interesting around student voice is that some people think if we ask students' opinion and I make it a point to learn something from them, the job's done. But to me, student voice goes way beyond that, where it's, I want to be a student that can share my voice in an environment that welcomes that and trusts me, but also will then give me the responsibility to do something with it. In other words, I could tell you what I think, but unless I have given the responsibility to do something about what I said to you needs to be done, then my voice really is just nothing more than an opinion. So when I look at student voice, I want it to be driven by two things. I want it to be driven by trust and responsibility. Unfortunately, in education, most of our stuff is driven by testing and accountability. So the challenge for us is how do we get students to have a voice? How do we get them to have an active voice, something that is meaningful, something that's purposeful? One of the first things we need to do is convince teachers that students have something worthwhile to say. Interestingly enough, for us, 57% of the teachers, 57% of the students we surveyed say teachers are not willing to learn from students. It's hard to convince students to have a voice when beforehand they don't even think anyone's paying attention to them. The other interesting thing is only 47% of the students in this country say they have a voice right now. Some people look at voices, wow, it's a nice thing, and we really should have students with a voice. And yeah, it is a nice thing, but it's certainly not a way of being. Why is student voice so important to me? Not only because it's the right thing to do, but because it makes a difference for students academically. When students have a voice, we have found that they are 7 times more likely to be academically motivated. Yeah. This isn't something that, well, we should have student voice because it's the hot topic, or this new book out there called Student Voice. No, it's about allowing kids to reach their fullest potential. And the only way they're going to do that is allowing you to know who they are, to know their hopes and dreams, to know who they are as a person, to know what inspires them, to let you know what matters to them so that we can let students know they matter to us. How do we do that? We make student voice a priority. We don't just talk about it, but it becomes part of our plan. How else do we do it? We develop professional development about understanding how to listen to students, how to take their information and put it into action. And how do we do it? We do it by letting students know that they matter to us, by making this a priority in everything we do, whether it's from professional development, whether it's to incorporate their voice into everything we do in our schools. We can make a difference for our students, but first we need to be ready to listen. I tell people all the time that when it comes to student voice, wonderful things are just waiting to happen. And all our hopes and dreams for what we want to do for our students in school are well within our reach.